Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. It began as all storms do, with a quiet. A woman in Hazelhurst, Georgia, a community nestled within the beating core of the American South, held her phone in shaking hands. 52 years old, Angela Deem was a mother-grandma fighter. She had spent her life creating walls, brick by brick, created in grit, disappointment, and treachery. But behind that barricade lay a woman still believing in something delicate: love. Not only any kind of love, true love, last channel love. Too many times, the type that makes you feel chosen in a world that tells you, you are not. On the other side of the globe, in busy, sun-soaked Lagos, Nigeria, a 30-year-old guy called Michael Ilasami opened his email and first saw her face. He graced his smile. Each did. What began as a curiosity, a single message, a wary conversation, quickly became a conflagration neither of them could control. Thousands of miles apart, they started digital thread-based heart stitching using calls, texts, emojis, dreams. He spoke of her as baby. She said of him, my man. And for a brief period they believed. They thought they could outlive the odds. They felt distinct from one another. And everyone watched from about here. Ratings were seen when 90 Day Fiancé creators learned about this couple. So wild, so unexpected, so combustible. But during the next few years, they recorded more than just television. It was human disintegration in basic form. It was the anatomy of a love story bleeding right now. Michael and Angela. Living rooms all throughout America started to sing their names. Their faces illuminated memes, their disputes followed online, their every struggle analyzed by outsiders. Behind the screens, nevertheless, was a real connection with full weight for distance, culture, suspicion, and time. Angela was rigorous. She must be. With life, she had not been gentle. She brought kids up. She looked after her mother while dementia snatched her away. She trusted too little and put in many late nights. Her protection was her raspy, loud, impossible-to-ignore voice. Her guttural, deep chuckle covered her fear of being left once more. Of forgetting. Of not being sufficient. Michael talked softly and measured himself. Raised in a society of respect and hierarchy, where confrontation meant something different, a guy asked questions. Where subtle expression of affection occurred. Where patience was survival, not only a virtue. He told her he loved her. Repeatedly over. During calm times in debates on national television. She still needed to hear it once more. Again. Once more. Under Angela's bluster lived a terrified woman. A girl who never really healed from the first time someone walked out and never returned. And the young girl inside Michael fretted every time he hesitated, every time he turned away, every time he stopped before responding to a question. She screamed. She pressed. She groaned and started to scratch. So Angela insisted on evidence. Show me your phone. Display your loyalty to me. Show me that you are real. And Michael responded, overwhelmed but still standing. He responded favorably to the procedure. Indeed, the trip for the visa. Indeed, the emotional toll of striving to be enough for someone who was always terrified of not being enough herself is great. The years went like tides, highs and lows always returning to anarchy. Happy times included flirtatious conversations, reunions in Nigeria, kissing beneath moonlight, wedding dance. Still, these were constantly interspersed by eruptions. By screaming matches, by betrayed confidence, by stillness spanning weeks. Angela asserted accusations. Michael turned away. Michael erased errors. Angela yelled. Angela went off. Michael appealed. Their composition made sense. One more. Not once again. By means of denied visas. By pandemics. By means of funerals and operations. Through cracked phones and broken pledges. Through the sting of distance and the agony of waiting. They continued to try. Sometimes love, no matter how poisonous or bruised, feels safer than alone. Michael then came in America at last after years of waiting, documentation, and doubt about if it would ever happen. Still, he did not reach serenity. He showed up ready to fire. Angela was different now. Her resentment had become more solid. Her tolerance has changed to be thinner. And Michael started to rebel, having once silently resigned and accepted everything. Reality could not support the American dream that existed in their minds. There was no phase known as honeymoon. There was not a soft landing. Like planets, they crashed and nothing survived the force. The aftermath was seen on cameras. They were unable, though, to depict events behind closed doors. The reserved tears. The vacant dinners. The evenings shared in separate sleep. The weariness of posing as in love when love had evolved into something else entirely. responsibility, remorse, obligation, hatred. Angela finally snapped from something inside. Michael eventually felt something inside go cold and let go the woman who had given all to bring her spouse to her native nation. The date of the court was calm. Red carpets are not used here. Not confession, simply pens and documentation. Officially divorced were Angela Deem and Michael Ilisanmi. April 2024. Like every other day, but it was not. It was the conclusion of a story that had been on screens and in hearts for more than half a lifetime. The ring broke off. They pulled the pictures. At last the silence sank in. And right now, they now go along different paths. Angela stayed in Hazelhurst. Still rather loud. Still chewing tobacco. Still strong. But differently today. She speaks of him not very often. When she does, she flickers, something between anguish and rage. Angela actually lost more than simply a husband. She lost the belief that someone could love her unrestrained. One could say someone could stay. Michael also? He wanders silent. Some claim he is still in the United States working at rebuilding. Others claim he vanished. Michael is clearly not the same man he was when he met Angela. He is elderly, smartest, somewhat more reserved. Years spent proving something that was never sufficient weigh him. Maybe he is learning how to love himself once again now. What they possessed was never straightforward. It never proved simple. Still, it was real. Real love also leaves echoes, even when it fails. In lodging quarters. In courthouses. Through voicemails. In memory. They never will be two persons. They are Angela and Michael always. A tale. A cautionary note. A legend. An instruction. And in the great mosaic of 90 Day Fiancé, their story will live permanently. Not because it was flawless, but rather because it was human. Agonizingly, brilliantly human. We thus depart from them here. Two hearts at last in order. Two lives at last set free. Two persons still in recovery. The end of Angela and Michael marks not only the end of a romance. This marks the end of a conviction. Love will always be sufficient regardless of how hard you try. Love sometimes finishes not in treachery. Not in a single last scream. But in the still moment when both people cease fighting. When they cross eyes and see. It ends now. And Angela removed the ring amid that quiet. Michael started to leave. The narrative comes to an end. Angela and Michael no more exist. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.